Hello everyone, it's your favorite girl back with another video. Hi. So today I wanted to talk about the Netflix Nollywood film called Black Rose. It's about a mother, her two daughters, and her two sons. They live in this poverty-stricken area, barely struggling. They're struggling to make ends meet. Her mom sells these little plates of food that she gives to like the neighborhood and the mechanics, and like they pay for it. So she has an older sister named Ugbu, who is she sells her body for money. Because they don't have any money, so that's the one way that her sister gets money. And then the younger sister, Rose, she helps her mom makes the food for the business or whatever. So the mother does not like the fact that the older sister sells her body for money, and she defames her in front of her brothers. They have her two her brothers. Her brothers let me back up. So the younger sister, Rose, and Ugbu and Rose, they are not in school. They dropped out of school due to a family issue because I guess their mama wasn't able to pay for them to keep going to school, so they dropped out, to kind of like help with the mother's business. And then this older sister, Ugbu, she sells her body for money. And the younger brothers, they're still in school, but the mom is also struggling to help pay for that as well. So the mom does not like the fact that Ugbu sells her body for money, so she like defames her, like say, oh, you haven't been home in 2 days, and you're, where'd you get all this, food from? And so she's like, well, I do what I have to do to take care of this family. And I'm just like, my whole thing about it is, how you gonna get mad at her for, doing what she has to do to get money when you're taking the money that she's giving you? Like, you can't be a hypocrite. You can't not like what she does but then accept the money. I just feel like that was a very hypocritical thing to do. Like, don't like what your daughter does but then accept the money. Like, don't be a hypocrite. So anyway, then as Rose is delivering food to one of the mechanic guys, there's like this older guy. His name is Desmond, and you can tell by the drip, he got money, you could tell. And his car just happened to stop in the it stopped. Like, it kind of like started acting up in the neighborhood that she was in. So she looking like, ooh, who is this guy? And she's in so in awe of him that she drops the plate of food that she's supposed to be giving to one of the mechanics, and he sees it and he runs over to her, and she's just looking at him like Prince Charming, like, oh my god, this is the one I've been waiting for my whole life. And so he picks up the food and he's like, oh, like, are you okay? And she's like, oh yes, I'm fine. And she just kind of just looking at him like she just can't believe, like, oh my god, this dude is talking to me, he's so cute, he's so fine. And so then he ends up paying her like 6,000 naira, and I guess that's like a lot of money. And because it's only supposed to be 150 naira. I don't understand the currency, so I don't know how much that is in American dollars, but obviously it's a stark difference. It's a big difference, because when she brought it home to her mom was like, who gave you this money? Who gave you this money? Who gave you this much? And she's just like, oh, the guy, he said, he would pay for the food because it fell. And yeah, so girl, anyway, so she making all these moves. Rose keep coming back to see if the guy, see the guy who getting his car fixed, because she's infatuated with him. She's like, oh my goodness, he's so, like, she's just, I guess it's like her first little crush or whatever. So then I guess he had been watching her too. So she was walking down the street and he was like, Rose, I want you to, come cook food for me. I want you to, that food that your mom makes is really good, and I want you to come cook for me. And she's like, oh no, I don't really cook. That's my mom. And, oh, you would have to ask my mom. He was trying to get her to cook for him. So then he goes over to her mom and he's like, hey, I heard about your family issue, that, Rose should be in school. I'll help you out by giving you, you cook for me, I'll give you money to help with Rose's school. So at first the mom was kind of a little hesitant, like, you rich, why you want us out of all people to come help you cook? And he was like, well, that's the reason why, because I want to help you. I want to help with Rose's school. And so then, the mom says, okay, fine, we'll cook for you, whatever. It was basically, a ploy to get Rose to, anyway. we know. Let's see. So then, you know, because Desmond, oh yeah, that's the dude named Desmond. He was giving her the vibe. She was giving him the vibes. And then basically he started kissing her. Like one time when she came over to the house and made some food for him, he was like, you know, I've been seeing the way you've been looking at me since the first time I saw you, because I felt it too. And basically, you know, he sorry about that. He getting her little rocks off. He, you know, doing stuff to her that she never got done before, because, you know, she's only 16 years old. So, you know, at 16 years old, you, when any guy gives you some type of attention, you like, oh my God, like, what, me? Like, you know, you're in that stage of like, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe, like, he's paying attention to me. Like, you know, that's like a lot of the time where you're doing things that you've, you know, whatever. So, let me see. And he gave her some money he gave her some extra money outside of the money that he was paying for, you know, the food and stuff. And so she took that and she bought some clothes for her brothers, and they like, where did you get this money from? And like, are you sleeping? Her mom was like, are you sleeping with this guy for money? And she was like, no, I'm not, you know, he just gave me some money. Like, he basically, like, he's grooming her. Desmond is grooming her. And so then she comes to the house one time, and she hears like laughter and chatter, and she like, well, what's going on? Like, usually I'm the only person here with him, so what's going on? So she walks up the stairs, and there's two other guys in the room with Desmond, and they looking at her like, oh, like, who is that girl? And Desmond getting all mad at her. He's like, you need to stay downstairs. Why'd you even come upstairs? Your place is downstairs. You know, you don't even come this early. Like, you need to, like, why didn't you call before you came over here? And she's just like, I just wanted to see you, because she had just gotten to the argument with her mama about, you know, the whole, are you sleeping with men with money thing. And so then so Desmond's hiding a secret. It turns out that Desmond is actually working with those two guys that was in the room, and the two guys, in order for him to pay his debt, they wanted to have Rose. And so he spikes her drink with, like, you know, he spikes her drink, and he let those dudes sexually assault her. And you know, and she and like, in turn, she becomes very distant. She becomes very like depressed, and like, her mom's like, what's wrong with you? Her sister's like, what's wrong with you? Like, you know, did this guy hurt you? Why are you acting like this? Like, what is going on with you? Because she's not acting like her normal self, and she's just, you know, in a state of like, you know, I guess you could say shock and hurt. And, you know, so when she came over to give him food the next day, he's like, oh, please, I'm so sorry, you know, but you have to understand that I have to pay these guys a big debt, and I will never be free of the debt, you know. He was like, and he just giving her like this sob story, he crying and everything. And he explained to her, in order for him to be free, you know, like, there's a way that they can be free. And I guess you can put 1 + 1 together as to how he's going to be free of his debt. Okay. So then it turns out, you know, Rose is smoking, she drinking, and then her Ugbu, the bigger sister, she finds out, and she's like, oh no, like, 'cause she didn't want her sister to go down the same path that she was going down. And so then one time in the middle of the night, Desmond starts, you know, basically calling her, and her sister and the older sister picked up, and she was like, don't you ever in your life contact my sister again. She goes, I'm not threatening you, but I will do what is necessary to protect my sister. And so he get mad, so he hung up. So she hung up. So he's like, oh my God, like, he's getting upset because the guy that he was doing business with, like, the money that Rose was making them was going towards their business, and she came across the plan that, you know, that's what she was being used for. And it's just like, it just goes to show you that, like, it just, like, it just sucks. Like, I'm just like, it sucks. Like, being a woman sometimes is just like, this is the stuff you gotta watch out for. Like, you know, it's like, she was 16 years old. This dude was old enough to be her freaking daddy. Well, maybe not that old, because he was maybe like, he was old enough. Like, basically, he was not a teenager. And that's what I mean by, like, a lot of, like, dudes be preying on girls that are like teenagers. Like, because that's why they be like, oh, how old are you? Because they want to know, they want to see, like, how much experience you have. They want to see if they can get over on you. They want to see if you know, because like the younger you are, they can kind of like manipulate you and try to like mold you into, you know, accepting things that you think are okay because you don't have experience to know that no, this is not good. Like, I mean, yes, you have your intuition, but you don't have the experience with, you know, guys at that age really, you know, with you know, like they like it's like giving a candy to a baby. You're just like enamored by it, like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this guy's talking to me, like, oh my goodness, I can't believe he's doing these nice things for me, he's giving me money, he's giving me gifts, like what, like, I mean, especially at 16, like, I mean, she looking like, wow, this is the dude, you know, this is the dude who's like just giving me everything, like it's crazy. And so it was a really good movie. It really made me think a lot. But it's also, you know, and also happy International Women's Month as well, you know. Because I was just like, we got to talk about this movie because that movie crazy. That movie was crazy. I dang on near told y'all the whole thing, but I mean, I usually don't. But this is just too important not to talk about. Like, ladies, we have to be so careful. So careful. And I know, like, you know, when you're a teenager, you're kind of just like, oh, let me just, you know, put my inhibitions to the wind. It's like you got to be careful. We got to be careful, you know. And it's just like we got to be careful because, you know, they're like some of these men, they're not looking out for your best interests. Like, question everything. Like, don't ever be so quick to jump into something, you know. Don't ever be so quick to like just accept things that these guys are giving you. Like, just be careful. Be careful, you know. Be careful. That's one thing I just would like to say. Like, just be careful. Always have an exit plan, you know. You know, and you kind of gotta look. If a guy is like 10 years older, he looked like he was about maybe like in his late 20s, early 30s for sure. Like, so what are you doing as a 20-year-old, 30-year-old man preying on a 16-year-old girl? Like, what else would you be doing besides trying to pimp her out? Exactly. So it's like I mean, like, I know, like, I mean, if he's like a few years older than her, like maybe like 18, okay, that's like y'all still in the same, like y'all probably still in high school. But no, he was old enough to be her like big brother. Like that's crazy to me. I'm like, no. Discernment. But at, like, you know, when you're a teenager, you really don't have discernment. So it's like you got to go through mistakes and like he was literally pimping her out. Like, I'm just like, that is crazy to me. That's crazy. But it was a really good film. Support Black entertainment. You guys can go watch it. Tell me what you thought about it. You know, it was a really good film. And, you know, that's pretty much all I want to say. This video is a little bit longer than normal, but, you know, I had some stuff I had to get off my chest. So, you know, thank you guys for watching. And that's that on that. And with that,